I am married to a very talented, wonderful, beautiful, and older woman. And I think that brings with it a lot of prestige. However, there is one significant downside to that, and that is that your wife's biological clock is bound to quickly outpace your own clock for unencumbered pre-Rugrat fun. So I wanted kids and I love my wife, and so it really was just a matter of time. But I have to say that getting pregnant, for us at least, was disappointingly easy. I remember the night quite clearly. I had been doing lots of soul searching and thinking over, the meaning of life. So I rolled over to my wife and I said, I really want you to have the desire of your heart. I do want kids, and I think I just might be ready. She was pregnant. And pregnancy was great. I mean, she was great at being pregnant. Healthy, round, pumpkin-esque. And we had a wonderful long delivery, and there was our baby daughter, and she was ours, and these eyes that looked up in ours, and they were blue just like mine. Now, parenthood, on the other hand, was a lot different. We tried to be the hip parents. We brought her out to bars with us. We went backpacking in the Arizona canyons together. But the reality was that it was hard. Everything took longer, more effort. And I'm ashamed to say that I became resentful and actually bitter. I became one of those pathetic early stages of fatherhood guys that looks at their wonderful, precious child and deep down really just thinks that they're just competition for their lover. So it was just a few months before my daughter's second birthday, and we decided to go up to French Creek State Park to join my family for a weekend, stay in a group camp, and our daughter was running a fever, and we were super rookies. We were doing our best. We had a thermometer that at best maybe was unreliable, some Tylenol that we were using really sparingly because we had heard a radio program that talked about a family who had overdosed their child with Tylenol, resulting in death, so we were terrified, and we were just going to tough it out. So that sort of meant me alternating between being sort of glum at the killjoy of my daughter being sick and ignoring it, and my wife trying her best to be a great mom and nurse and keep our daughter sleeping. It was, by Saturday afternoon, our daughter hadn't gotten any better. Her fever was really high. And I was inside the main mess hall playing ping pong, and my wife was out on the porch in a hammock rocking our daughter. And suddenly our daughter began to shake violently. Someone screamed for me. My wife leapt up, tossed our daughter into my brother's hands, who happened to be a resident doctor at the time. And I remember my mother just yelling, "Do something, do something," at my brother. And of course there was nothing we could do, just watch and wait for that shaking to stop. And I remember a bubble appearing at the corner of my daughter's mouth. And tears were just streaming down my face. And all I could think of is how I possibly could have loved her so poorly. Someone ran and got wet towels. We stripped her down. Of course, she was just way too hot. We went in an ambulance to Reading Hospital. Tests were run. And then that relieving, wonderful news. She was fine. Nothing that the right dosage of Tylenol probably couldn't have prevented. You know, if you've lost a child or if wanted to have a child, I am truly sorry. How could I have held something so precious to be so inconvenient? You know, the silver lining of watching your child, what you think is them dying, is that you get to have a reality check on your attitude as a parent. And then you get a second chance. In that moment, I made a decision and a resolution grew in my heart. And that was to love our daughter, Jericho Faith Church, just as much as I possibly could. Thanks. Woo!